What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I kind of waited until I got to a certain point to start recording today because this thing, like you saw in the last video, I'm trying to get it wrapped up. So I got the drive shaft in, and I also, in regards to the one piece for the red car, this thing right here, I think one of the CVs is bad. I found some videos on YouTube of guys that had a very similar sound, and their CVs were failing in the drive shaft. So I'm probably just gonna order some new 930 Porsche CVs for it, swap them out, see if that fixes my issue, but I really won't know right away until it's in the red car. So I got the drive shaft swapped on this car, and I'm doing the one thing I hate the absolute most. I'd rather pull a motor than do these, but the freaking motor mounts on these things, they suck. Especially because, like I mentioned in the last video, I did my not so bright idea of putting shorty headers on this car, and I have to remove the driver's side header to pull the motor mount out. Not great. So I'll show you guys what I have so far. So on the table here, got the shorty header. Thankfully I have some new gaskets because this graphite gasket's pretty shot. But this is what I have just pulled out after a few hours of work. This is the Creative Steel two-piece rebuildable poly motor mount that I accidentally ordered the race red polyurethane. What I'm going to be replacing it with is the UMI poly mounts. They utilize an energy suspension bushing, and it's greasable, so I got them all greased up and they're ready to go into the car. Now, a lot of the guys like these bushings because while they're a performance upgrade for stiffness, they also don't translate a lot of noise and vibration through the car. So hoping that these make life a lot better for me. And at the same time, these are gonna be the perfect motor mount for the Drift V. So I'm gonna get these in, get it all sorted out, get it tightened up, and we should be in good shape. Hopefully the reinstall goes easier than taking this thing out, because I was trying not to pull the header and I was just fighting with it for way too long, and I have to pull the oil cooler lines as well, so it just turns into a whole process. But hopefully everything goes back together easily, and we can move over to the passenger side, which I think altogether will just go easier. All right, guys, it's a few days later and I'm interrupting this video to change direction with it because the black Cadillac is out of the garage. So here's the good news. This DSS one piece, as you guys saw in the last video, is still good. The CV joints are fine. I might add a little more grease to them before they go into the red car. The bad news is I think the car needs a clutch. I took it out the other night on a test drive after putting it all back together. Those UMI motor mounts are fantastic. I love them, but it was still making that crazy noise, which rules out the whole DSS one piece being the issue or not. So I'm gonna get another LS7 clutch for that car. The one that's in there now lasted like 65,000 miles. Beforehand, I'm gonna drain the trans and make sure the trans fluid looks okay. It was brand new fluid that I put in, and the trans still shifted fine. So I figure if it's destroying itself from the inside out, it wouldn't shift perfectly fine. So I'm thinking it's the clutch, some kind of issue, maybe a spring broke on the disc or whatever. Either way, time to shift gears. I got a cool piece that was able to find on the 3000 GT pages to complete a set that I had off my car because I destroyed one when I crashed into the wall a few years back. But I finally found a replacement, and I'm gonna show you guys and get it back on the car. I'm so hyped to have these things back on the 3000. We gotta head on up to the storage room here, the attic, because this is where I stashed away everything for both cars that I wasn't gonna be using. But I think they're up here in a box somewhere. It's way nicer going up here when it's not the dead of summer. I think this is the box. That's what I'm looking for here. So we got a white corner cap as a spare. Another corner cap. Oh, we got my Japanese fuse box cover. Keep that stashed away. I think it's one of these. No. You guys can tell I just hoard parts for this thing. Just in case, you know? Here it is. You 3000 GT guys know what that means right there. And for this job, I'm just gonna need a trusty 10 mil. Let's go. So some bad news. I missed out on the Black Friday drift event registration. That was gonna be my last drift event for the season. And I was out and I came home. It was like a half hour after registration opened up, and it was sold out for the drivers. So it is what it is. That was gonna be my last drift event for the season, because just with going back to PA and just all around, you know, trying to save money and keep building the red car, it is what it is. But you know, I feel a little more confident putting these onto the car now, because I told myself when I go drifting, these come off, because I will not destroy another set, because I was lucky enough to find a replacement for just the one side I needed. As for this thing, so aside from it needing a clutch, oh, it sounds so good. I miss hearing it. But yeah, it also has a beat front tire. It needs new tires all around. I did the burnout. It's funny, these Achilles still have the nubbies on the outside, but the insides are bald because of the stupid camber. But like I said, this car's gonna get raised up so I can take that camber out of the rear, because all it does is eat through tires, and I'm tired of it. And I also hate the way the car looks from behind. I love the side profile with how low it is, but from behind, I just think it looks kind of dumb. Like that, yeah, not a fan. So as you guys can tell, I have US taillights on the back of this car. They have red turn signals, and I had this guy right here, and I had a broken set or piece. I think that's inside on my desk or somewhere in the house, but I have my driver's side one still, and I needed a replacement passenger side, and someone posted up that they had a passenger side JDM taillight, and I was able to get my hands on it for a very good price. And now I'm gonna get these things installed back onto the car. All right, so the process is pretty simple for these things. There's just a couple 10 mils on the back side. Pop them out, pop each taillight out, unplug the harnesses, and give the old swap. And there you have it, guys. We got the JDM taillights installed on the car. Now I will say the driver's side has a little bit of a more amberish touch than the passenger side. Now, before you guys go saying, there were some years where the taillights would fade and the red would start to look amber, but there's a clear distinction between the two. I don't know, maybe this one's just faded. I hit it with some rubbing compound and it seemed to bring some of the color back. So I'll try and hit it with like a little bit of a heavier compound and then polish it out. I mean, this whole taillight kind of needs to be polished. There's some scratches and stuff you can see in it. So I'll get that whole thing polished out, and then maybe we'll get the color back to like a similar state of the other one. But I mean, the camera here, you really can't tell. So heck yeah, I'm pretty hype on this. JDM taillights are such a, like, if you know, you know kind of thing in the 3000 GT world. I feel like most guys just will see a 3000 GT and be like, okay, it has amber corners. They probably won't even notice it. But the 3000 GT guys know JDM taillights are the way to go. And I feel like the taillights, when I had them on the car, really bring this car together, because the whole drivetrain from engine to axles is from a GTO. My roll bar is from a GTO. So there's a lot of JDM parts on this car that not everyone knows about. And as the Drift V takes shape, this car is going to take more of a cleaned up but still modified form. And this is kind of a step into bringing it back into where I want it to be. Just to be a clean car on nice wheels, can still drift. It'll still do drift events, don't worry about that. But really just have the nice little goodies here and there that I can get my hands on without breaking the bank, and putting together just a nice car and really just refining it, because this car has taken a lot of abuse over the last few years and it owes me nothing. I mean, I have a lot of spare parts for it, a lot of stock pieces that I would like to try and fit back onto it just to make it a cleaner street car. Probably do a full exhaust on it once again, at least with a resonator, because after doing the firewall on the back, I'm going to redo the tube rear and stuff like that. But after doing the firewall and the straight pipe, highway driving, not the best. But if I can get like a nicer exhaust on there, like the 3SX single exit looks like a nice exhaust, so I might check that one out. But until then, JDM taillights are back on the car. I'm pretty hyped with the way it looks. And this is my first time seeing them against the black, because the last time they were on the car was still white. So pretty hype on it. And I hope you guys think the same. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here, guys. I know it was a shorter one, but I was kicking my butt. I still can't really move my neck a whole lot after working on this thing, but this thing's gotta get the love too. I've been driving this thing so much, but now it's finally like boost season. It's cool down here in Florida, and you know, there's no better time than to bring the turbo car with no AC out than now. We might be bringing it to Sarasota Cars and Coffee. It's a little bit of a drive, but I think we might be doing it next weekend. It depends on the weather, really. If it's like a cool morning, we'll be there. But if there's like a chance of rain or anything like that, probably gonna skip out on it because I don't want to get caught like an hour and a half away from home in the rain with this thing. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.